Good morning all, well afternoon all, actually it is 1:32. Just thought I would give you a quick video introduction to my latest project, which unfortunately I'm actually repairing for somebody else, so I won't be keeping it. It's the first front-loading VHS recorder available, and it's also, in my view, one of the most handsome VHS machines ever made. You can see it in the reflection of the 51-580X tube there. It is a Ferguson 3V23. Now, you may be wondering, why is it in that position? Well, there are actually some feet on the back of it which allow you to sit it in that position for storage purposes. So because it weighs an absolute ton, I've decided to leave it there. So I've already replaced the video lamp, which is this old-fashioned tungsten affair, using the video lamp out of this rather poorly 3V31, which is now just being broken for spares. Travesty, you may cry, but over here is a very tidy 3V31, which is awaiting some service parts that I've ordered. That, incidentally, is a Panasonic M7 VHS camera, which I've actually got to start using at some point because I want to give it a go. And down here, underneath the fawn, which I'm in the process of repairing, just needs a mode switch. I've got another immaculate 3V31, again working, just needs a service. Again, service parts are on the way. So, let's have a look at the 3V23. Some interesting features about this. Back in 1980, when this was a new machine, you would have to pay typically £500 to £600, which in today's money is nearer £2,000. It's a standard play unit, doesn't have long play. It's a mono unit, not stereo. But it does have a number of trick functions such as ×2 speed, slow motion, cue and review search, and a multi-function timer, multi-event timer. This flap on the front, as you can probably hear, is aluminium. It's beautifully engineered. And underneath the flap we've got all of the buttons for controlling the unit. There were a number of clones of this, so this particular version is a clone of the JVC HR 7700. Was it 7730 or 7750? I can't remember. It's a 7700 series. Now, Akai also did a clone. You also had a rental market version of this, which was a dark grey finish with either the Baird or multi-broadcast or DER badge over there. You also had a Sabre SABA version. That didn't have this front flap. It had sort of ribbed finish here, and it looked okay actually. It didn't look as sophisticated as this one with the flap, but it did look okay. Other features of this one: it has a full metal chassis, which means it weighs a ton. It's not plastic, which is like this one, which is the 3V31, which is effectively the series that replaced the 3V23, but it is all metal, which means it weighs a ton. Another interesting little feature is this, which is this removable RF can, which just literally, when it wants to, pulls out like that. So you've got this little multi-pin connector on the bottom, which interfaces with another little multi-pin connector there. I'm assuming, apart from ease of replacement, it's also to allow for different television markets. So you could have one for VHF, you could have one for UHF, you could have one for VHF and UHF. More sort of prevalent in the NTSC market of the time though. Generally over here and in Europe we were on UHF frequencies back then. And that just closes up, locks in place. Other sort of nice features, it's obviously got this full vented finish, but what is particularly pleasant about it is this chain mechanism for the front loading. Now I've actually got one out of a 3V31 here, which is being broken for spares, but it's exactly the same unit, bar a couple of fitting differences as used in the 23 here. What I really like about it is this over-engineered chain mechanism. It's wonderful. This bit here, which you put the tape in here, pushes this forward a little bit and activates like that. This little sensor here, which then engages the motor. So it's literally just a little light sensor. So you push it forward, the clear bit turns to a dark bit, and the circuitry is engaged. And this will then start spinning, pull the tape in, and this will then go down and lock the tape into position. Usually these tend to wear. You can rough them up a bit, but this whole bar is available brand new for about £8.99. So when I'm servicing this one, I'm probably going to get a brand new bar. I'll try roughing up the old one first to see if I can avoid spending that, but it's only £8.99 and it's a consumable part. So it's quite a nifty little solution for effectively a deck that was originally designed for a top loading setup. All of the belts are user replaceable. The chain I'm not so sure about, but to be honest I've never actually come across a broken one yet. I'm sure they did, but it is a little bit over-engineered for what it is, where a rubber belt would have sufficed. You've got a complete chain. It's a really nice bit of engineering, and also quite a pleasant thing to look at as well, actually. So that's back down there. Incidentally, this is probably going to form the basis of my next ITX PC project, but this time I'm going to try to keep as many of the front panels as I can, as much as the front panels as I can. Got a circuit diagram so I can work out which each of these does. Take some fly leads off of this, so cut that back a little bit further in the machine, and actually have, say, the power wired into that, the reset switch wired into that, hard drive LED wired into it, power LED wired into it, all of sort of things like that. With the clock, again, all I want is literally power for the clock and also the buttons to adjust the clock. And then possibly a bit of power for these LEDs. Again, probably just wiring all that into parallel. In here, probably be a DVD drive or a Blu-ray drive. So, back to this one. We're going to be giving this one a service. I've already replaced the video lamp. The video head has a sticky point, so there's almost like a flat spot on it. So out of a 3V31, I've taken the liberty of removing this video head here, this whole drum assembly with motor, which is free spinning, and I'm going to put that one into the 23, and then hopefully we'll have a good machine. The actual upper head drums are still available new, so depending on how I feel and how far my friend wants to go with it, I'm happy to fit a new video head drum as well. So basically, unfortunately this machine is not mine and it won't be staying, but I do fully intend to have either one of these or one of its variants in at some point. Some particularly nice features about this, which I will demonstrate at some point, is it comes with this cat. It doesn't really, but just imagine if it did. That would be a strange feature to have. The ×2 playback has obviously got separate tracking, same with the still control, so ×2 and play on there. But the ×2 button actually still plays sound back, but at twice the speed, so it's legible as well. You can actually hear what they're saying. It's a bit speeded up, but you can hear it. For the time, some pretty complicated circuitry was involved in that. On the sound processing board there are quite a large number of delay lines. I've actually bought the service manual for this, so hopefully that'll have an explanation of how it actually works, but it uses something called a bucket brigade device. Goodness, it actually took an entire... On the course for servicing this back in the day, it took an entire day to explain what that actually did. But in basic sense, a delay line delays a signal. And it's almost like a buffer in some ways. It sort of delays a signal before it's actually sort of sent on to the next stage. So effectively, I don't understand it too much myself. It's something I need to understand more. Hopefully on the next video, when I've got this in demonstration, I'll be able to show it a bit more. Got a slow motion feature with obviously a slower and faster facility. Got the frame advance, obviously pause, audio dub, which you seem to get on a lot of machines around this time. So you can obviously dub a new soundtrack onto your video, and all of your standard features that you would expect from a machine of this calibre. Back in 1980, this would have been one of the most expensive VHS decks that you could purchase, and it's also, especially with the flap closed, in my view, one of the most beautiful. Anyway, the next video in my series will be actually showing this unit working, and also showing how to service it as well. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.